Hello everyone, welcome back. My favourite time of year is here. It is finally September, finally autumn, so obviously I need to speak you through the TBR. I've got specific books that I want to read in the next couple of months and I have picked them out meticulously because I have to be in the autumn mood to read them. So in this video I'm going to speak you through all the books that I want to read in this autumn time. We're going to get straight into it. So I'm going to start off with a book that I was supposed to read this summer. I'm not going to lie to you. I was supposed to read Liar's Beach in my summer TBR, but I just never got around to it because I had to prioritise more beachy reads, and obviously this is a beachy read, so that's just me being stupid. But as it's like a mystery book, I was like, maybe I can get away with it in September because it's still beachy vibes, but still very much autumn mystery thriller kind of vibes as well. This is also a fairly short read. It's literally not even 300 pages, so I'm hoping to get this done in like a day or two. Hopefully I can get this one done in September. But this does sound really, really good. It's about a bunch of rich people and they find a body in their swimming pool. I think they're like a group of friends or something, and then basically they just try and figure out how that happened and everything. The next one is Too Late by Colleen Hoover. This is one of the few Colleen Hoover books that I haven't actually read yet, and I heard it's like a dark, thrillery romance kind of thing, and that is so up my street for the next few months. Literally between September and November I'm going to be a dark romance girly, I'm going to be a thriller girly, and I'm going to be a fantasy girly, so this one's definitely high up on my list of ones that I definitely want to read. I know Coho's kind of a controversial author, but sometimes you just can't go wrong with a fast-paced quick read. I just want to say these are in a very random order. I didn't actually specify this by genre or author or anything, but the next one is The Book Thief by Markus, Zusak, I want to say. I actually can't pronounce that, so I do sincerely apologise. But this one is kind of like a dark academia. I think it's set when the war was on. I think it's like about Nazi Germany and stuff. A character called Death is there, and you just see everything unfold in that kind of time period. And I did buy this last year. I cannot lie, I was meant to read this in my 2022 autumn TBR, but I never got round to it because it kind of intimidated me with how thick it is. I mean, really? Does it have to be that long? I don't know. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to this because it is quite intimidating, but apparently it's really, really good. You either love it or you hate it. It's kind of like a Marmite kind of book. Some people have said it's their favourite book ever. Some people have said they absolutely didn't get on with it, but I kind of like the dark academia vibe, so I'm hoping this is going to be one that I really enjoy. The next two are the first in the Addicted Callaway series. These are some of my best friends' favourite books in the entire world, their favourite bookish universe and just everything. They are very, very high up on my TBR. These are some of my most anticipated reads. I've always wanted to read these books, but I just never really was able to find them anywhere in the UK. They're very, very hard to get your hands on, but I managed to find them all on Amazon. They're a little bit more pricey than normal books, but I'm guessing it's worth it because everyone seems to absolutely love these books, and I just love books that are about trauma and about addiction and about, you know, like stuff like that, like darker things. And obviously this whole series is centered around people with addictions, people with problems, and just, you know, a lot of stuff going on in their lives. So I just already know that I'm gonna love these, and I just know that I'm gonna want to read the whole series, so I'm gonna slowly collect them. They are all on my Amazon wish list, but I keep buying them off of it myself, so I need to just stop. I need to just wait, at least until I've read the first couple, until I buy more. The next one is Sunnyville by J.H. Hastings. I actually kindly got sent this by him himself. He reached out to me and said, can I send you a copy of my new book? And of course I said yes, because I love a thriller. This is kind of on the longer side for thrillers. I feel like the average thriller I normally read is around 300 pages, 350, but this one's nearly 500 pages, which is obviously quite a lot, but the font isn't too small either, so I'm guessing it like averages to be around 400-ish pages, like in normal font size. But yeah, this one got sent to me a couple of months ago, and I've been purposely saving it for the September onwards time, the autumn time, because I'm just a thriller girl. Especially in October, I'm going to be reining in the thrillers and just eating them up. But thank you so much to J.H. Hastings for sending me that book. That name is so hard to say really, really quick. Oh my god, J.H. Hastings. J.H. Hastings. I'm so sorry. The next one is another thriller, and that is The Street by Susi Holliday. This one's about a couple who moves to Scotland, and they end up making friends with their neighbours just to settle in. You know, you got to make friends with your neighbours. They end up making a dinner arrangement to go over to their house to meet them, and then they knock on the door and no one answers. Turns out no one lives there, so who did they see? Who are the neighbours that they thought they were friends with? I just am so excited to delve into this one because I've read like paranormal type books like Layla by Colleen Hoover, but this one just seems like, is it paranormal? Is it a person posing as this couple? I don't know. I'm really, really excited to see what happens. The next lot are a series, and that is the Lancaster Prep series by Monica Murphy. I've, again, purposely been waiting for this time to read them. I don't know why, I just feel like, because it's like a prep school kind of boarding school vibe, I feel like that is just perfect for around September and October because everyone's going back to school and uni and everything, and this is just such a long book, isn't it? I mean, that is terrifying, if I will say so myself. Even this one I thought was long, and then I saw this. I mean, come on, what have you got to say? What have you got to say for 700 pages in a romance book? I'm scared. I'm actually terrified. I'm not opposed to a big book, 100%. I do love reading a big chunky book, but when it's a romance book, I'm like, what do you have to say for that long? When it's a fantasy, I guess you can like jam pack it with all these names and these backgrounds and the world building and just everything. But with a romance book, I'm like, that is pretty long for a romance book. The next one is Reckless by Elsie Silver and Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Reckless is the last one on my physical TBR that I've got, but Hopeless comes out on the 13th of October and I have already pre-ordered it, don't you worry. So that is definitely coming very, very soon. But this is in the Chestnut Spring series. This is book number 4, Hopeless is book number 5, and it's a cowboy romance series. And you slowly see throughout the books all the different Eaton brothers, the partners that they end up obviously getting with because it's a romance series, and basically you just get a different character per book, but you see other characters from the other books in each book, if that makes sense. Why did I explain that so badly? But this is probably one of my most anticipated ones because it's about Theo, who is Rhett from the first book. He sort of like works with him. He's sort of like mini-me, and I've loved Theo from the first book, so I cannot wait to read this. And it's also, actually maybe I'm not going to say that because it's maybe a spoiler. And Hopeless is about Beau, the other Eaton brother who goes off to war, so he's not really in the books as much, but he's definitely a big part of their family, so I'm also really, really excited to see his book as well. The next one is another series that I've got to finish, and it's the last book in the Twisted series by Anna Huang. This is Twisted Lies. This book is about Christian Harper, who we have seen slowly but surely over the other books as well, and I'm so excited to just see more of his character because I absolutely loved him in Twisted Hate so much, and I really wanted him to be a bigger part of that story, but obviously I knew that I was going to be getting to his book. His one just seems like the most exciting to me, so really, really excited to read this one. These next ones I genuinely might cry thinking about. So if you're not aware, as I'm filming this right now, it is the start of September. I'm 60% through the first Magnolia Parks book. I'm currently on chapter 39, but I am absolutely loving this book so much. I'm eating it up, but I'm trying to take my time because I just love it. I love how it's set in London. I love, you know, the romance in it. I love just all the feels that it's giving me. I actually don't ever want it to end. However, I of course have the rest of the series here with me as well, so once I finish this one I will definitely be continuing on with this series very, very soon because I'm addicted to it. I love it so much. We are now on to our second pile. This is progressing very, very well. The next two actually are two fantasy books, Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Ever After by Stephanie Garber. This is, I think, a duology, maybe becoming a trilogy, I'm not 100% sure. Me reading what the book's about because I actually don't know. This is sort of like a Prince of Hearts kind of book. I don't actually know much about it. I'm trying to not read the blurb because I'm trying to go into it a little bit blind. So I'm not going to read it, but these books are so popular, you probably already know them anyway. But if you are interested, they're like a fantasy book. I think they're adult fantasy, but definitely check these out. The next one is, oh my god, I actually can't even think about talking about this book right now. I borrowed this book from my friend Summer in 2018. 2018 I borrowed this book from her. Okay, I'm gonna be so for real. This is the copy that I borrowed from her, and I actually went out and bought her another one because of just how long I'd had it for, and it got a little bit battered because I obviously got it so many years ago. I didn't have a bookshelf at that point, so it literally got absolutely battered in my cupboard. So I went out and bought her another one. To be honest, she didn't actually really want it because she'd already read the book and she doesn't plan on rereading it, but I just felt like it was my duty as a friend, a terrible friend, to say that I'd had this on my shelf for so long. So I will be giving this to her very, very soon. I have said, look, I bought you another copy, you can have it. I literally, look, still have the receipt in there. I was like, look, I don't even care if you're not going to read it. I owe you this. I owe you it because I've had it for so long. It's terrible. So anyway, this is on my sort of like October TBR, hopefully. I do definitely plan on getting to it because it has been on my shelf literally for 18, 19, 20, 5 years. This has been on my TBR, my physical TBR, 5 years. This is like the oldest book on my TBR, and there's a bookmark falling out of it, so apparently I started it. Oh no, it's on chapter 1. Okay. This next one is Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, and I just want to quickly point out that I haven't read the trilogy that's meant to come before this, so if anyone could let me know if I'm supposed to, then that would be great because I will read them before I read this. I obviously want to get the most out of these books as I possibly can, so if I have to read the trilogy before I read this, and what is it called, Shadow and Bone, maybe, I think? So if I have to read that before I read this, I will, if I have to, but if I don't, I'm definitely not. I'm just going to go straight into this one and then the second one, but just keep me posted because I actually don't know. But the next one is Underneath the Sycamore Tree by B. Celeste. This is about a girl whose twin sister died of an autoimmune disease. Her dad ended up leaving her her because of the stress of it all, and then she, the main character in this, ends up getting diagnosed with the same autoimmune disease as her twin sister had. Obviously because they're twins, it obviously runs in the family. They've got the same DNA and everything. And then her mother ends up going into a full-blown spiral because she's like, literally both of my children are either dead or dying. My husband left me. So she ends up staying with her dad who left her, basically. I think she just tries to have a fresh start. She ends up meeting a boy, and it just seems like a cozy read just simply by the cover alone, but also a really emotional story as well. So really excited for this one. As I said, I love emotion in books. I love trauma. I love, you know, things that go wrong, struggles in books. I don't know why, maybe I'm just a horrible person. The next one is an absolute brick of a book. And that is Cleopatra and Frankenstein by Coco Mellors. Every time I say that, I think of Cocomelon. I really think I'm funny, don't I? I'm not really overly too sure about what this one's about either, to be honest. I kind of just want to go into them blind, but I do know that it's about someone called Cleo, and she ends up meeting this older man. I think it's like an age gap romance book. Oh my goodness, it's an impulsive marriage. I'm excited for that. Definitely bumping that up on my TBR. Now this is where I need a moment of silence. This is where I need some just pure excitement to come out of you guys. No one else cares but me. But I got Throttled, which is the first book in the Dirty Air series for my birthday. I am yet to read it, but I'm in too many series at the moment. I'm going to wait until I finish up the series to start this one. But I have recently got so obsessed with Formula 1 and race car driving and just everything. I've grown up on it. My dad is an avid Formula 1 fan, and I've grown up watching the drivers, and I used to go over to his house on a Sunday or whatever, and the race used to be on, and he's like, give me a minute, can I just watch this for a minute? And then I'd like read my book or do whatever while Formula 1 was on. So it's always in the back of my mind. But recently I've got more into it, actually started watching it myself. So obviously I really want to get into the Dirty Air series. So obviously I have Throttled here, which is the first one. Collided, which is the second one. Wrecked, which is the third one. And Redeemed, which is the fourth one. And of course I cannot wait to delve into this. The next is a YA mystery series that I've wanted to read literally for the longest time now. It's one of them ones that's been on my physical TBR since last year, but I've been in too many series. It wasn't necessarily a priority, but now I really want to read it as the months go on because it's obviously a mystery. What better time to read a mystery series than in the autumn time? And that is the Inheritance Game series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. Obviously it starts off with the Inheritance Games, and then it goes on to the Hawthorne Legacy, and then it goes to the Final Gambit, and the new one has just been released on August 31st. I think it's called The Brothers Hawthorne. That has recently been released, so if you wasn't sure about that and you have read the rest of this series, there is another one out, so definitely go and check that one out if you're interested. I'm also very interested in another series by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, which is called The Natural series. It starts off with The Naturals, which is kind of like a Criminal Minds-esque group of people who end up all having like a specialty, and they use that specialty to solve mysteries and like whatever. There's like case files and everything, and that is so up my street because I love Criminal Minds and I just love YA mysteries, so I really can't wait to get into that one as well. But for some reason I feel like I should read this one first. Not that they're in any way connected, but I just kind of feel like this needs to be read first just to get a feel of Jennifer Lynn Barnes' writing, and then I'll go on to the Natural series. Maybe, I don't know what order I'm going to read them. Another one that's been on my physical TBR since last year is My Policeman by, I was literally about to say by Harry Styles because he was on the front of it, by Bethan Roberts, which has recently been adapted into a movie as well, which I cannot wait to watch, but obviously I'm going to read the book first. I just haven't really got around to doing so, but I simply only want this because of Harry Styles. I'm going to be for real. I'm going to be honest with you guys. If this didn't have Harry Styles in it or on it or whatever, I would not be interested. But for him, I'll do anything. So if you don't know, I read books 1 to 8 from the Harry Potter series last year, and the only one that I didn't really get around to is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, because this is a play. It's not really in the original story, but I actually bought the paperback copy of the play to read because apparently it's really good. I've heard very mixed things about it though. Some people say it's kind of unnecessary, some people say that they absolutely loved it. So I cannot wait to see my thoughts on this because I absolutely love the Harry Potter series, and I cannot wait to just binge all the films in the next couple of months as well, and I may reread some of the books, I'm not sure. Another one is A Thousand Boy Kisses by Tilly Cole. This is apparently a really emotional book that's going to rip my heart out, so obviously you know what I'm like by now. I obviously wanted to read it, but this one has also been on my physical TBR since last year, but I was purposely saving it for kind of like the rainy months, a rainy day just to cry. You know them days where you're just cozy and you just want to get in your feels with a blanket and a candle. that is what I was saving this for. So if you've watched a couple of other videos on my channel, you would know that I read the Akatar series in my reading 5 books out of my comfort zone video. You would know that I read Akamoth, which is the second one, in my reading 200 pages every day for a week video, and I'm yet to finish the series. Again, I was waiting specifically for the autumn time to read these books. This one is 100,000,000% up there with the books that I'm going to be getting to very, very soon. Maybe not binging them because they are really, really big, but I will get this one done and then maybe go for like a fluffy romance after and then delve back into the rest of the series. And of course, that being said, I also want to start, I'm not going to say fully read, I'm going to say start the Throne of Glass series. There is no way on God's green earth that I'm going to read all of them books I've just showed you and also read the entirety of the Throne of Glass series by like November, because obviously December I'm going to be starting like my Christmas reads. So I've got like 3 months and I'm not going to read all of this and this in 3 months. There's absolutely no way. But obviously once I finish the Akatar series, I will be going on to reading the Throne of Glass series, maybe even just the first couple, and I can't wait to get into this world. I had like a debate with myself whether to read Throne of Glass or Crescent City first. So the next ones are on my Kindle that I haven't, that's my phone, the ones that I haven't actually got the physical copy of. So the first one is My Dark Romeo. I've wanted to read this book forever, and I just feel like when I'm in the dark romance kind of mood, when I don't really necessarily want a fantasy but I kind of want that romance but kind of like a more dark romance, I will definitely be delving into that one. I also really want to get into more Frida McFadden books. If you aren't aware by now, where have you been? Frida McFadden is literally one of my favourite thriller authors ever. I've read quite a few of her books now and I cannot wait to delve into more of them in the more spooky months. She does such amazing short, fast-paced thriller reads and I literally get them done in like 1 or 2 days. There are definitely also other ones that I want to read, like Ward D, One by One. What other ones are there? The Perfect Son, that looks really, really good. The Surrogate Mother. Just all of them. Every single Frida McFadden book is right up my street. Another one that I do definitely want to get the physical copy of, but I haven't just yet because it's not out, is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. If you watched my first 24-hour readathon, you would know that I absolutely fell in love with Icebreaker and just that whole universe. The Maple Hills University and everything, like the college vibe, the ice hockey, and I just can't wait to carry on with that series. Wildfire sort of picked out characters that I wouldn't have necessarily picked from the first book personally. I really wanted Henry to get a book, but that's just my opinion. But I'm going to read it nonetheless. I'm going to read it because I loved Hannah Grace's writing. I literally rated Icebreaker a 5-star, so I have high hopes for Wildfire. I feel like that's it with my Kindle and physical TBR for the next couple of months, but obviously there will be other ones that I find, other ones that I read. I may even pick up some new books in Waterstones or whatever that I read very, very soon, but I'm not sure. But that is the plan for the moment. I probably won't get to all of these, and I definitely will be reading other books as well. There's a lot of books, to be quite honest. But that is my challenge. I'm going to try and get through as many of them as I possibly can. But that is everything for today's video. I hope you enjoyed, and let me know what's on your physical TBR for the autumn, your most anticipated autumn cozy reads, because I do definitely want some more as well. Not that I need any more, but I definitely am not opposed to taking some more recommendations. But if you did enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up, comment, and just do all that other stuff. And I hope you enjoyed. I will see you in my next one. Bye!